All right, guys, we got water going to the pond with the original well on Piney Grove. I've been working for well over a month, putting in long hours here on the pond, trying to get it reshaped, trying to get the bottom sealed, trying to move clay around, putting in 45,000 pounds of bentonite clay so it won't leak. And last night, Deb and I put out 14 bags of 80-pound Quickcrete down here in the culverts to get ready for today's video. So this is the first culvert we did. It took, I think, 6 bags, 6 80-pound bags. We mixed it in a wheelbarrow, 1 bag at a time, and then brought it down this 30-degree slope and then shaped it with a trowel. And then we put 8 bags in the first one. I think we put 6 bags over there. And then yesterday, I also put in the fish structures in the pond behind me. So I've got 5 fish structures of concrete blocks, cedar logs, oak logs, a cedar stump, and I think that just about covers it. So there's plenty of places for little bait fish to hide and also for things like bluegill and bass to grow up, because we want to raise fish in our pond. That's kind of been in our mission statement or our dream. So as I walk from the pond up here to the mega shed, I have a pipe buried underground. Very first job I ever did with our excavator. And it's 6 feet underground in this clay here, and it comes up to the red cow barn. There's the cows right there watching me. Chief on the right, Charlie on the left. Deb just mowed their pasture yesterday. It's looking real good. Keep them set with some nice fresh grass instead of the long stemmy stuff. But that underground pipe catches all the water that comes off this red barn here, goes to the pond, and then it continues up here and catches the water off of the mega shed, which is guttered on one side, and then on the other side I have river rock. So that's the side with the river rock. And then over here, the mega shed is guttered on this side. You see the downspout, and that downspout goes underground to this basin, and this basin ultimately goes all the way down to the pond. Now I'm super excited about this video because we're going to try and get water in the pond today. We have a huge storm coming tomorrow that could possibly raise the pond a foot or more, but I'd like to see how easily I can get water to the pond from our well to top it off, because no matter how full it gets and if it doesn't leak a drop, there's going to be evaporation. But there's potential for failure here because I'll be using the first well we drilled on the property, and there's a long story behind that well, but I'll just give you the cliff notes. So our first well was drilled there, and we went ahead and concreted with an 8x8 foundation, and we eventually went in to do a well house or pump house so that we could have our pressure tank and just be able to keep it warm in the winter when we get those freezing temperatures. Well, that well had too many sediments. So after trying to fix it 2 times, our well driller came back out and drilled our primary well all the way up the hill there. And then that water is piped underground into this well house and then goes to all the buildings. It goes to the house, it goes to the mega shed, it goes to my parents' house, it goes to the barn. That one well up the hill waters everything out here at Piney Grove. But in here is the very first well, and it's about the same depth as the other one. It's in good water, but he found a sand pocket. He came back, he re-drilled it, and he put a 60-foot screen at the bottom, and we kept getting sediments no matter how much we flushed it. And so that's why we have a second well, and the second well is pure clean water, no sediments, no sulfur smell, nothing like that. But even if this is still pumping a little bit of grit, we were hoping that that sand would fill in around that screening down there, and then the water just kind of filter through the sand and not come up through the pipe. But even if there's a little bit of grit in this water, it won't matter because it's going to the pond. And I'm also hoping that if I flush it out, that I can route this water so that I can route it to the shed so that this waters the property, and then the well up the hill there only brings water to the house. That way we have some redundancy. I want to put a series of valves and manifolds and stuff in here so that I can route water anywhere in case of a well failure, that the other well can pick up where the primary well falls off. But the first thing we have to do is, and I'm going to make sure there's no pressure here. There shouldn't be. This well hasn't been turned on in years. But I had my electrician the other day wire this up. So it has its own dedicated circuit coming from 200 amp service over at the Mega Shed. This is currently hooked up to a 3/4 hose bib. I'm going to cut this off and then glue on a slip to 1-inch fitting, and then I've got a 1-inch hose here. Well, then I'm going to turn the well on and hopefully water comes out and follows all the pipe I have laid on the ground. All right, we're going to cut this off right here at this coupling. I cut off this, which is a 3/4 hose bib, and then I glued on a 1-inch slip fitting to a 1-inch threaded so that I can put on my 1-inch hose. Now this is not the permanent way we're going to use this well. This is just to get water in the pond for now. Before we try to start the pump, I want to do a little bit of erosion control here. So I got some black plastic just rolled out, and then I'm going to use some nails and try and get it real close to the drop off here of the concrete. And I'm using galvanized nails because I don't think the landscaping staples I have will go through this clay. They might, and all I'm trying to do is just keep sediments from going in the pond, try to keep the water more clear. And also with the big rain coming, this will help a little bit. Once the pond gets to its 6-foot level or so, then these culverts will kind of be right at the water level, and you won't have to worry about that so much, the sediment so much, or the washing out. Okay, I'm going to show you the 2 well breakers and the one that's off, and then Deb's going to come out here and turn the well on while I'm in the pump house, and hopefully the switches and everything work correctly and it starts pumping water. I just don't know yet. We got our main well on circuits 30 and 28, and then our second well on circuits 19 and 17, and they're currently off. I label my panels on and off so that way I don't have to worry about it if it's dark, or if I really need to know which one is which and whether they're off or on in a moment's notice. All right, breaker 19 and 17 are together. They're on the right side of the panel. If you turn them on and listen for me, the well should come on, right? But it hasn't been on in a couple years. You turn it on and I'll let you know if the contact switches are working. Not yet though. Let me get over there. Okay, hit it. Water's flowing. You hear water going into the basin? Well, the switches didn't have to close because they were already closed, because it's not sensing pressure. All right, guys, we got water going to the pond with the original well on Piney Grove. 1-inch lay flat coming from my 1-inch hose for irrigation for my IBC tote. Then I don't even have these pieces of PVC glued together. I got 20 foot of PVC. I got 1 foot of 10 feet of electrical conduit, and then I got 10 feet of PVC, and I just put an elbow on there. It's not even glued, and that greenish sewage and drain pipe goes down to the pond. So I did a chat GPT on the pond. It's about a 500,000 gallon pond, I think, when it's at 8 or 10 feet. And that's based on 50 by 100 at the bottom, 30-degree slopes on the side. But when we measured the pond, it's actually longer. All right, we got water. Yep, we got water already making its way down the pond. So this is 20 gallons per minute coming out of that well. See, that's not a lot of water at once. A big rain gives us a lot more water. But that used to hit dirt until yesterday, and we put that concrete there, and you can see my water's actually staying on the landscaping cloth. I'm amazed. I thought it was going to go off there to the right, but it's staying on there for the most part. Some of it's escaping right here on this side and coming out. So I'm going to put a little dirt there. But then it goes down here, and it has that long stretch where it's not going to pick up any sediments. That's awesome. That worked out perfect. But size-wise, the very bottom of the pond is 50 feet. But then, you know, the banks go up like a champagne glass. So by the time you get to, you know, 6 to 10 foot of depth, the pond is a lot wider. So I think you can easily add 20 to 25 feet on each side. And then you end up with a 100-foot wide pond, and the same thing going lengthways you end up with close to a 200-foot pond, because it's about 140 feet down to there. Then you add up all this bank to about here, that's another 25 feet or so. Words literally can't express how excited I am to see that. And I have like as much confidence as I can have, never having done it before, that this pond is sealed. I mean, so much bentonite went in here, like beyond the amount really that was needed. We put in 5 pounds per square foot, and all our soil wasn't bad. We had a lot of good clay that would hold water, especially in the bottom. It was more the sides that I think we were getting a lot of lateral leaking. We want it to be 6 foot deep at all times. So that second well is going to be used exclusively for the pond filling, along with tomorrow's rain and any big rain events, because in a big rain event, if we get a lot of runoff, like from the public road over there, and there's grass and stuff on the public road, it filters it real good and you get clean water that comes into the pond. And then my neighbors are uphill here. We're kind of like the second tier down from the top of the hill. We get a lot of water that comes through those trees, and that filters out pretty good too. That's clean water. Plus our land, a lot of it naturally goes there. But we had a big rainstorm a few weeks ago, and we got 1 foot of water in the pond, maybe even up to 14 inches in some areas, and that's from one big rain, and we had no washouts. And that's before I packed in the pond, or packed in the sides with the vibration sheep's foot packer. So now I'm not worried about the big rain, because we've already been through a big one. And then we also have a pipe up by the front of the house that's underground, so all the water that comes off the house goes into that underground pipe, and that comes out over here. There's a culvert on that side of the road, and then I've bermed up right here, so the water coming off of this slope will hit that berm, and that way we don't get a lot of sediments. So the water will stop up there, hit that berm, and then it doesn't wash out this end of the bank, and it'll flow through there on down into the pond. To get to 6 feet of water at 20 gallons per minute, the pump would have to run 24 hours for 12 days, I think. But if I remember it correctly, at 6 feet will be 350,000 gallons. And then at 10 feet, I think will be 500,000 or 600,000 gallons. And if the pond, maintains on its own above 6 feet, and it does it reliably, we can start stocking fish, of course, but we can also use it for irrigation. So we can irrigate the pasture with water from the pond. So a lot of things were dependent upon that pond when we planned Piney Grove, and hopefully they are now coming to fruition. Since both our primary and secondary well are pulling from the same aquifer, I mean, they're only 100 feet away, we're not going to pump continuously for 12 days. We'll probably pump for 12 hours, then let the aquifer refresh, and then pump for 12 more hours, and just kind of see how it goes. So this won't be a 12-day, 7-day, whatever, straight pumping. So it's going to be hard to see the progress of the pond, but we'll put some updates here as the hour marks tick off. So the next update on the depth of the pond will probably be at the 12-hour mark. While we're putting some water in the pond, I'm going to go ahead, while I've still got the KX40 here from Paris Tractors, and shout out to them. Without them, this pond renovation would not have been possible.
More than a tractor store.
The skid steer rental and the Kubota KX40 rental were all part of our partnership with them. And just a great bunch of people. They got 8 locations in the southeast. Maybe one's near you. Go check them out. But I need to track in here, because with the packer, I went vertically. And I left vertical marks, and that's a pathway for erosion. I tracked in horizontally, the end and the side over there, a few days ago. But then we got a big rain, and this was too wet. But it's perfect now. I'm going to track it in, and that way it'll be ready for the rain tomorrow. And hopefully eliminate, well, it won't eliminate, but it'll definitely slow down the erosion here until grass gets growing. I've been at it for a couple hours, and I got this long edge done as good as I can get it. And like I said many times, I try to get something perfect, and you try to get it that last 1%, and you just end up like messing it up, then you got to fix it, then you mess it up, then you got to fix it. So I'm leaving well enough alone, but I got it really, really nice here. All packed in, knocked off the high spots. And remember, I've packed this with the vibration packer. I had a sheep's foot packer in here, and all this bank got packed. And all I'm doing really now is knocking off the high edges and filling in the little packing holes from the packer. And you can see how much water has come in here in the few hours that I've been on the excavator. So I know it doesn't look like much, but there is quite a bit of water in here compared to where we started. Like this log almost has water completely under it. We're starting to get some water up underneath that set of fish structures. So it's going slow, but it's going. And I'm going to let it run all day, so I will show you what it looks like when I turn off the pump tonight, and then we'll see how much rain we get in the morning, which is going to be 6 or 7 a.m. So I'll show it to you with how much we pumped in today, then how much rain it gets tomorrow, and then we'll just see where it goes from there. I'm going to pump it every day. I'm going to get back on the excavator and finish that end. I'll leave you some footage of the pond as it fills, but otherwise that's going to wrap up today's video, and we'll catch you all in the next one. Take care, guys.